What up, everybody? I hope your day is going good. So, as you guys know, there is a lot going on in the Shiba ecosystem. Now, I was going to tell you guys, well, I am going to tell you guys about the election, which is going to choose a new lead visionary and new councils for each DAO. This came out August 4th in the Shiba Inu ecosystem Shib blog. The one thing is, I haven't had time to cover this, but a new development, more important, actually is occurring right now. So I definitely want to bring this to your attention right now. Okay, this is critical, my people. So this was released by Cal today. It says LEASH Investigation: How Supply Changed Despite Renounced Claims. So as you guys know, Shiba Inu is the main dog of the ecosystem. Okay, and you can see, oh my bad, that's Bitcoin. Hold up, right here, Shib. So you can see Shib has a total supply, initial supply of about 1 quadrillion tokens. Okay, the blockchain coin or token is called Bone. Bone is at 250 million total supply. Okay, and of course this is very important because actually I should have actually just continued on this very first one. And you guys know that Bitcoin's total supply, fixed supply, is going to be 21 million Bitcoin. Okay, why am I talking about supply? Well, the reason I'm talking about supply is that when a contract is normally renounced, or the developers or founders choose to not increase the supply, normally what you want is the project to not be able to do that. Okay, but unfortunately, something happened. There might have been hidden code in the Doge Killer leash contract. That's right, hidden code. Even if the contract is renounced, there could be operators in the background and it could be timed. Now, this supply right here, total supply 107,000, that was supposed to be the total supply. No more leash ever again, and the supply is only supposed to go down. Now, if there's less of something, the price theoretically with volume is gonna go up. Okay, so that's why this is important. Now, you see this 107? I want to bring you over to Etherscan real quick before I even start with the article. I know this might be even longer, but look at this. Max total supply went up to 118,411 leash. What the hell's going on here? Okay, because it was supposed to stay at 107. Actually, was it 106? Anyways, point is, it's supposed to be at a certain supply. Something happened, and I'm about to read the lead developers article on it. Now, I'm gonna tell you this: there are former developers in the Shiba Inu ecosystem known as ShadowCats. They're haters. Let's keep it 100. They desire Shiba Inu's ecosystem to fail. Let's just keep it 100. All right, they do. You see them. Some of them even are in projects within the Shiba Inu ecosystem, and some of them are whales. I'm in a particular whale chat. It's disgusting. Okay, it's supposed to be the leading liquid staking derivatives platform on Shibarium, and the actual DAO is filled with Toshi haters, Shiba Inu fudders. Anything that happens, they have a problem with it, right? And yet, some of these very same people in those projects have been in failed projects that I myself have seen them be administrators of, team of, marketers of. Okay, so a lot of times I dismiss these people. Okay, but I'm gonna keep it 100. All right, so I'm sorry this is going longer than it has to, but I just want you to understand that this is very important. Okay, And I need you to understand there's going to be a lot of FUD coming. Don't get lost in the FUD, okay? This can have a remedy through the DAO. So actually, even more democratic if you look at it like that. So let's go ahead and just read this article real quick so we can get up to date. What the hell's going on with LEASH and why did the supply increase? All right, LEASH investigation, how supply changed despite renounced claims. This is from Cal Daria, August 12, 2025, 5-minute read. Look at this poor Shiba, looking all sad, man. He's like, God damn it. All right, so this is the TLDR, too long, didn't read. So on August 11th, 2025, the LEASH total supply increased 10%, 10,765 tokens, despite years of messaging that supply was fixed and rebasing was disabled. LEASH was supposed to be a rebase token linked or pegged to Doge initially. So honestly, I think this is probably the best thing that can happen. Let's just go ahead and leave this, go to a version 2, 100% renounced, no supply issues, and keep it moving, baby. That's what I'm talking about. All right, cool. So the cause was a still wired rebase pathway via pre-authorized contracts that survived ownership renouncement and continued to function from the outside. The system looked decentralized, owner addresses renounced, but functional control over supply adjustments remained through an orchestrated contract chain. You see these goddamn ShadowCats always doing it. And I swear to God, I think K9 might be guilty of it. I'm going to be honest. I think K9 might be guilty of it. All right. So not of this, but of the bridge situation. I'll talk about that later, some other time. All right. So 2 paths forward will be proposed to the LEASH DAO. A, negotiate with the original developer, and this historically has been unsuccessful, people. Or B, launch LEASH version 2 on a new, audited, non-rebase contract subject to DAO approval. Honestly, I'm cool with, let's do A quickly, and if we don't get any reply quick, let's just quickly move on over here. All right. So why we're publishing this, we owe the community a full accounting of what happened, how it was possible, the risks going forward, and concrete DAO-led options. Working in a chaotic system with multiple historical owners and inherited code paths is exhausting to keep aligned. This report is one step toward clarity, integrity, and collectively setting the future direction. Also, before beginning, I would like to clarify this is 2020 stuff, even before 99% of the folks joined. So that's what I'm saying. These initial ShadowCats, some of the Paw Swamp people, some of the, let's keep it 100. Some of the people that thought they were going to centralize the system, and then the system basically got even more decentralized. They got upset. Some of them actually got asked to leave or join the team. Some of them didn't want to play nice, so they've been fudding. These ShadowCats have been fudding, and clearly they're still tampering with this project. But this community, this leadership is going to redirect this ship, and I believe this project's gonna actually be stronger after this, because this is part of the struggle of what it's taking. This is the struggle that's missing sometimes. It's still, unfortunately, not a worker-based labor struggle. It's a financial struggle, right? But it's an economic struggle. But at the same time, this struggle is forming the Shiba state, okay? So honestly, what I would say is do it for all of them. Do it for all of them. If there's any possibility that any of these tokens could have hidden contract, just go ahead and V2 them all. V2 them all. That's all I'm saying, okay? All right. What is a rebase? Quote unquote, in plain English, a rebase is an elastic supply mechanism where the total supply of a token automatically expands or contracts based on the rules or triggers. Example, daily, or when price deviates from a target. When a positive rebase happens, every holder's balance increases proportionally. When a negative rebase happens, balances decrease proportionally. Your percentage ownership stays roughly the same, but the absolute number of tokens you hold changes. Rebases can alter market and per token price math, sometimes confusing explorers and dashboards. Bullet point 2, be neutral to individual percentage ownership in theory, but still impact perception, liquidity, and integrations. Bullet point 3, be misused if control of the rebase trigger isn't transparently and irreversibly disabled. See, and this is critical to this, okay? Because they could literally damage this token. Regardless, we know what's going to happen. There's still going to be the block of when this happens on the Explorer, on the blockchain, on Ethereum. So regardless, we're good, people. But it is going to flood this project. It is going to obviously affect the price and affect the trust and confidence in it. So the V2 is very important to reestablish that trust, all right? So key misconception, quote, owner renounced equals no more supply changes, end quote. Not necessarily. If the contract allows non-owner roles, example, a monetary policy address or orchestrator, to call rebase, renouncing owner alone does not turn those pathways off. Okay, so if there's an orchestrator or a monetary policy address, even if it says owner renounced, they can still, this is one of the tricks that they use in order to manipulate tokens and projects. What we observed on August 11, 2025, time block 1855 UTC, block 23,119,734, supply change 107,646 tokens, which was the original, never to change, increased 10% to 118,411 leash, a 10% increase. No obvious owner call, okay? The change occurred via internal calls through pre-authorized contracts. This was the first material supply move in a long time, directly contradicting the fixed supply assumptions. How a renounced system still changed supply. High-level architecture simplified. User wallet, balances scale when rebase occurs. Leash token accepts rebase from policy. Monetary policy invoked by orchestrator, proxy callers, whitelisted beforehand. This right here is where you have the problem. This is where you have these either code or where you have these malicious individuals trying to affect the project. We'll find out at the end if it was just a rebase or if this was a whitelisted orchestrator proxy contract allowing the supply to be manipulated. Regardless, we need a full accountability of this, because when Shibarium was launched and it crashed, right? You guys remember that? I believe that was an attack. They hinted at that on a specific block. There was never an investigation, up in the air. We need to expose these people if we can. I know you guys know no one is, being named. They're going to tell you this right here. I read this article already. But my point is, we can't just not say anything if this is what's happening. All right, so the token contract contains rebase logic inherited from elastic supply patterns. Monetary policy, the only address contract allowed to call rebase. Orchestrator proxy, pre-authorized callers that can trigger the policy. Ownership renounced across the contracts. Did not unset or disable the pre-authorizations. They remained live. Okay, this is the orchestrator, my people, and the monetary allows that. All right, so why this matters? The system appeared trustless, no owner, yet a functional ability to change supply persisted through roles that were configured before renouncement, and couldn't be changed afterwards. What likely happened and why it's deceptive? The prior developer publicly claimed keys were burned and that rebasing was permanently disabled. In reality, the contract graph kept a hidden, in plain sight control path, pre-authorized orchestrator proxies, still able to trigger rebases under certain conditions. Example, time windows, daily frequency gates, etc. From the outset, owner equals 0x00 across countries looks decentralized. Functionally, rebase still callable by non-owner authorized callers. Supply can change. We're choosing careful language here. These are on-chain observations. They strongly suggest deliberate design to preserve de facto control while presenting a renounced, immutable surface. Understand what's happening, people. This is high level. This is from when the token was launched and okay, we're gonna renounce it. Most likely this malicious code, okay, this deliberate deception was inserted in this. Okay, so this is what the team has to deal with. At the same time, people, oh, Satoshi, oh, Cal, oh, Shiba Inu. Like, bro, you guys can't even, all the fudders and all these other projects, single projects can't even do a 10th of what Shiba Inu has done. So honestly, I'm still rocking with Shiba Inu. Okay, understand that diamonds are made through heat and heavy pressure. So bring the pressure on. Anyways, impact on holders and integrators. Your percentage share of the network is intended to remain the same after a rebase, but absolute token counts change, affecting explorers, analytics, supply, FDV, APYs, emissions assumptions. Bullet point 2, liquidity math, pool balances, price per token optics. Trust. A fixed supply narrative is no longer credible under the current version 1 graph. And I actually agree with this. This is why we need to move to version 2 ASAP. I'm talking about ASAP yesterday. Just do it. Forget the DAO. Go ahead and get the block. Slide that over. Just airdrop people their tokens. Move over the liquidity. And any additional tokens can remain on version 1. You know what I mean? All right, so governance-led options from here. We cannot retroactively fix decisions made in the past or alter renounced contracts. The choices ahead are community decisions. We propose 2 concrete paths for DAO consideration. Option A, attempt negotiation with the previous developer. Goal, obtain a public commitment to never trigger again and or to provably disable the remaining pathway. No, that's a no-go. Absolutely. Motherfucker already did it. We're not going to be like, okay, we trust you to never do it again. You promised never to do. Hell no, man. All right, reality check. This has failed before, including, and first of all, even if it's successful, it's literally, this sounds like it's setting up for failure again. We cannot have that. Imagine if the metaverse was already fully running. Buildings being built with leash or exclusivity with leash, and then this were to happen, it would have crashed the meta. Honestly, I'm glad this happened right now. I'm glad this happened right now, because if it would have happened when the metaverse was in full swing, bro, it might have been hella devastating. Right now, it's like, all right, it happened. Most people don't even know what a bone Shiba swap is. Most people don't even know what a leash Doge killer is. I mean, let's keep it 100. So this is the best time this could have happened. All right. So not financial advice, but reality check. This has failed before, including attempts by Ryoshi. Expectations should be low. Yes. And first of all, no, option A is the no-go. Option B, launch leash version 2, new audited non-rebase contract. Sounds sexy already. DAO vote required, I guess. if the community approves, version 2 would be a fresh deployment. In fact, what I would say is if we're going to do version 2, if we are going to do version 2, keep it at 100,000. Let's knock off a 7,000 right off the top. You know what I mean? They just increased 10%. Let's go back. You know what? We're going to eliminate 7%. How about that? 100K leash on the new version 2. Bigger increase in price as well, because 100,000 would be easier to even keep track of. Let's keep it 100. That's my situation there. All right. So no rebase code, plain ERC20, no upgradable proxy, no backdoor roles, immutable supply set at Genesis, clear minimal roles gated by a multi-sig time lock, open source code, third-party audits, formal verification where feasible, community wish list features to be discussed. I already told you guys, 100K, everyone's going to want that. Bring it down to 100K. Example, permit signatures, EIP 2612. I don't even know what that is, but let's go ahead and make this the most advanced contractor. In fact, make it a DN 404. That way, leash could be an NFT and a token. That way, I mean, you know what I mean? Let's go ahead and make it better. Why not? You know what I mean? That way you get an NFT, but you know you also have that token though that you can build with. All right, it's a win-win. I mean, just throwing it out there. Right? That one is extra, I admit, but the 100K, that one I do rock with 100%, no question. All right, so open source, third-party audits, formal verification, blah, blah, blah. All right, so EIP 2612, native claim migration helpers, fee less meta transaction relays, or other utility. Yeah, or other utility. I'm with that. The DAO prefers. This is a major undertaking on its own, not to be taken lightly, as also have to work with exchanges for this to work well. That's true. Keep in mind, exchanges also have leash. So if there's a version 2, they have to go. It's like it's a headache, man. Like, honestly, thank you, Cal. Thank you, Shy, the entire team for dealing with this shit, because at this point, we should already be, you guys already know. All right, but setbacks occur, and look at this. This is exactly how this is supposed to be handled. Okay, people, oh, Shy is doing this, Cal's doing this. Honestly, if I was running it, I would have been like version 2, boom, boom, boom. That's what we got. Boom. Your airdrop over here, or it's getting dropped off to your thing, the other token worthless. Simple as that. But they're over here trying to involve the DAO as a proposal so that not one person decides, but the entire community decides. In fact, at the end, we're going to come out stronger. That's what's fire about this. All right. So if you are a Shiba Inu army, Bone army, Leash army, Treat army, She army member, don't let this get you down. We good, baby. We good. Trust me. All right, cool. This is a major undertaking. All right, cool. So tentative migration sketch, if approved. Snapshot, Leash version 1 balances at a publicly announced block height. Deploy version 2 audited and a claim portal 1-for-1 or DAO selected ratio. 3, liquidity migration plan in coordination with major pools. 4, oh shit, I have a small liquid pair somewhere. I gotta fix that. 4, clear depreciation guidance for version 1. No endorsements, disclaimers. 5, ongoing monitoring and post-mortem transparency. 100%. See, that's what I'm rocking with. All right, important. The team will not unilaterally decide this. A formal leash DAO proposal with timelines, audits, and an implementation plan will be published for community vote. Risk disclosures and lessons. Renounced does not equal immutable. Okay, that's the lesson that we're getting from this. If powerful functions are delegated to non-owner roles, renouncing owner doesn't remove those powers. Designed for verifiability. Designed for verifiability, absolutely. Prefer simple, frozen logic with no external policy hooks for assets marked as fixed supply. Audits and diagrams matter. Demand a roadmap. Who can call what? And a call graph. How calls propagate. If it's not trivial, to explain in one page, it's too complex for a fixed supply claim. That's true. Frequently asked questions, FAQ. Question, did someone steal my tokens? No, a rebase changes the total supply and scales everyone's balances proportionally. The concern is governance, control, not direct balance theft. Question, can this happen again on version 1? If the same pre-authorized pathway remains live, yes. That's why option B focuses on moving to version 2. Question, what happens to LEASH version 1 if version 2 launches? The DAO will define migration terms. Typically, version 1 remains on chain, but is deprecated by the project. Documentation and UI make this clear. Liquidity and utility would shift to version 2. Question, is there legal exposure? We are avoiding personal accusations. Expose these motherfuckers, man, honestly. And sticking to on-chain evidence. Any further steps involving individuals would require counsel. Honestly, at this point, is there anything legal we can do? Like, honestly, damages to the project, like, we might need to start making examples of these people. Personal note, dealing with a chaotic system with multiple owners and inherited deceptive structures has been exhausting. I know it has, and I just want to once again reiterate to the entire team, thank you for dealing with this bullshit. But we rock with you. We understand, we see through this. Okay, we see through the fudders and we see the vision. All right. For me to keep aligned with and safe for the community, I'm committed to transparency and putting these decisions in the hands of the DAO. Next steps: publish a DAO proposal outlining option A, B, and specifics, audit scope, timelines, migration details for a formal vote. Bullet point 2, release a public evidence pack, transactions, contracts, call traces, so anyone can verify claims on chain. Absolutely, I'm with that. All right, well, that is essentially what we got, my people. I know some of you guys are like, man, and I myself, low key, I'm a little disappointed that there's so many losers out there that seek to damage this project. So many impatient people out here that, because their portfolios aren't pumping to all-time highs, when actually they're not even supposed to be pumping right now. Ethereum hasn't even reached all-time high. So how are all the Ethereum tokens going to be at all-time high? How are the moonshots going to be going? This is all a phase, people. Bitcoin to Ethereum to large, mids, small, moonshots, nano caps, okay? Do not get distracted by these distractions. We're going to come out stronger after this. I did not want this to go longer than it did, but here we are at almost 30 minutes. Do me a favor, share this so it can go out if you got this far. Once again, I go by Bone Army. I'm Crypto Marxist, aka Bone Army. Just came at you, Crypto Nostradamus, letting you guys know this is going to make us stronger. And I was in a migration before. It's actually Floki. Floki had a migration, okay? And look at Floki, still around, still doing good. So do not get discouraged, okay? With that said, like I said, I'm Bone Army, you're Bone Army, we're Bone Army. If you want more videos, you know what to do. Go to my channel and you know what to do there too. With that said, I appreciate you guys and have a good one, man. I'm out. Doses.